What is Brainspotting? Brainspotting is a bottom-up approach that allows us to process traumatic experiences through our body as well as our brain. David Grand discovered Brainspotting when he was using his approach of EMDR with one of his clients, and he noticed that there was a shift in her eye movements as well as the way he was attuning to her. He ultimately became curious, explored this phenomenon more, and conducted research that allowed him to create the approach of Brainspotting. So David Grant asserts that where you look in your environment influences how you feel. And with normal talk therapy, we're more in our prefrontal cortex, which is more in the front of our brain, which allows us to process things cognitively, but not so much through our body. And what we know about trauma is that it's stored in the body as a memory. And so with Brainspotting, when we find the brain spot in our environment, it allows us access to our subcortical brain, which is more in the back of our brain next to the brainstem. When we can access the subcortical brain, it allows us to go to places that we would normally escape and avoid because it's uncomfortable and we perceive it as an internal or potentially an external threat as well. So how does Brainspotting work? There's several different levels of training that a therapist can have in order to do Brainspotting. I'm personally trained in phase 1 as well as Brainspotting parts. And so because there are so many different setups that you can use, I'm gonna just explain a more general approach that I would be able to use in my practice based on the trainings that I have. So I first begin by asking my client what they want to process. And some clients are able to remember the details of what they want to process, and we can start there. Other people don't remember all the details of their traumatic experiences, and they don't need to. We can start just by processing the felt sense in their body, just by knowing that something happened. So once my client knows what they want to process, whether it's a specific experience or just the felt sense of knowing that an experience happened, I have them put on their headphones, which is going to play bilateral music that goes from the right ear to the left ear, which is going to help the right brain and the left brain to interact with each other. Once the music is going, I have the client connect as much as they can to the experience that they're going to process and bring up some emotional activation. Once they're ready, I pull out my pointer, which looks like this, and I slowly guide it across their vision while having them focus on the tip. As they're focusing on the pointer, I'm scanning their body for any physical body reflexes. Because we know that trauma is stored in the body, and based on the theory of Brainspotting, where someone looks in their environment is going to access the traumatic experience, that's going to come out in bodily reflexes. And when I notice a body reflex, which can be as subtle as like eye movements or shift in facial expression, or as big as body movements, I leave my pointer there because that tells me there's something in the environment that the client is accessing that needs to be processed. The most powerful aspect of Brainspotting is the level of attunement that the therapist has with the client. And I do not have enough time to finish this video, so I'm going to make a part 2, so like and follow and save so that you can come back to it.